diplomatic solution. But frankly, it's unhelpful if the chairman of the Security Council is using tens of thousands of well-armed troops to find a solution to the conflict, rather than investing in the economics, the business, the diplomacy to find a peaceful route out of this.
Certainly the odds are not good.
Yeah. Anna?
Well, I think that we have to see the larger conflict. First of all, I'm a bit upset about absence of Ursula von der Leyen, because her diplomat, Borrell, should have mounted above all these regional differences and problems. He should be there. And I think that's a big problem, because she declared Africa as a major theme of her mandate. She said she went first to African Union, and why she is so silent. So I think that there is a problem that Europe, as a neutral player, doesn't show much interest. So Borrell said, we're evacuating people, it's wonderful, it's good, but it's not a diplomatic solution. I think there is a lack of European initiative. And of course, we have to deal with the fact that private military companies are reality, because Americans started in Iraq when there was a need to defend a green zone in Baghdad, and then it was Blackwaters. They won the contract of 20 million. And I think that is reality, so we have to deal with this reality. We can't expect that Wagner Group will leave Sudan. So we have to accept all this complexity, but I think that Europe is missing the chances. That I see is a big problem, because Ursula von der Leyen is not even outspoken. She could go there, she could go to neighboring countries, she could make an effort. And there is no effort, I don't see it. So Europe is waiting that some mega players as United Nations would take lead. But I think that Europe should and is obliged to be a global player, because that was the obligation towards European citizens.
Now, what would happen if there was an agreement and the ceasefire that was kept and there would be elections? What do you think would be the outcome of that?
Well, I think that it's too early to talk about elections, because I think now the prime goal is to pacify the country. So you can't have elections in the country which is in fire. And what I read today before coming to the studio is that there is no respect for ceasefire. So they are fighting, and the problem is that there is no internet there, it was cut off, there is no telecom, the groups are connected through their own radio systems, etc. So it's very difficult to harmonize the situation, but it's very much needed, because nobody will profit from the civil war. There will be no winners in the civil war, no Russia, no United States, no China. So I think that the major effort is to establish, first of all, ceasefire, and then start peace talks. And it might take a long time, but it's a complex situation. And I think before it turns into Somalia, which is absolute disaster, there can be measures taken to prevent it.
Martin, what is the role of the European Parliament in this? What can we do here?
Well, I couldn't agree more that Europe. This is one of the many chances that Europe is already missing out on to establish itself as a geopolitical player, as Ursula von der Leyen defined her mission back in 2019 when she was elected as president of the Commission. And I know that she's very busy with the conflict next door, Ukraine. But we have already seen, and we could already seen signs of European weakness in the wake of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, where Europe was, or the European Union was not very visible either, and it was looking for someone else to solve the conflict, some big regional players or superpowers to play it out. And it is worrying that we have not heard the voice of the European Union in this conflict as yet. And what the European Parliament can do, it does have the instruments of pushing the Commission to get its act together and get its voice heard in the European Parliament. I'm almost certain that it is going to be a hot topic sometime soon. And what the European Parliament can do is put pressure on the Commission and the High Commissioner to unite and get a European position on Sudan and get on the ground and get moving and get acting.
Yes, Anna?
If I may, to continue, I think that is crucial to have cooperation with the African Union, because that was the starting point of Ursula von der Leyen. It was her first foreign trip to African Union, and I think that she should go on developing this cooperation, because African countries, they have a say in this situation, because it's a very turbulent region, and if the other countries around start to catch fire, like now we heard that weapons are delivered from Libya, from Libyan routes, from Sahara Desert. They deliver weapons to different paramilitary groups, because now it's very difficult to define who is supporting who, because it's not as clear as, for example, in Ukraine. So it's a lot of chaos there, and I think that it's crucial that the countries in the region unite, and Ursula von der Leyen plays her role within the African Union. Europe needs to lead, and I'm missing this dimension.
Okay, James, any final comments?
Well, it's very easy